Ajam nirvikalpam nirakaramaekam niranandamanandam advaita purnam param nirgunam nirvishesham niriham parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema parabrahmarupam ganesham bhajema. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A warm welcome for the Guru Purnima special session. Let me begin with the Guru Parampara Vandanam Shloka composed by our Sadguru Swami Paramarthananda, where salutations are offered to four Acharyas. Om Shri Dakshina Murti Sudeshi Kendram Dvaipayanam Sutra Krutam Munindram Shri Shankaram Bhashya Krutam Yatindram Maddeshikam Chapi Namami Vidyai. Let us look at the explanation. I offer my salutations, namaskarams, for gaining spiritual knowledge to these four acharyas. Firstly, Lord Dakshinamurti, who is the first and foremost acharya, because he is the Adi Guru who initiated the Vedic and spiritual Vedantic tradition. And being omniscient, he doesn't require a guru. Therefore, he is the first guruless guru to whom I offer my namaskarams. Second namaskara is to Vedavyasa. The spiritual teaching contained in the Vedanta Upanishads are not in a structured manner. It contains the teachings, but is not arranged systematically. This structured presentation is given by Vyasacharya, who is considered to be an avatara of Lord Vishnu himself. He has taken out the teachings of Upanishads and presented in a structured manner in the famous Brahma Sutras. Here, the whole teaching is presented systematically, talking about the qualification of the student, the central teaching, and then defending the teachings and removing all the doubts regarding the teaching. Thus, the Brahma Sutra is the Vedanta Darshanam proper. Since the teaching is in sutra form, we will not be able to understand by reading Brahma Sutra. Therefore, we require an explanatory exposition, and that has been given by Adi Shankaracharya in his famous Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. When we study Brahma Sutra, along with this Bhashyam, we get a complete picture of the Vedantic traditional teaching. All the later Acharyas, whoever have written on Vedanta, they have based their presentation on Brahma Sutra and Bhashyam only, because that is the original source. We are indebted to Dakshinamurti, Vyasacharya, and Adi Shankaracharya. But still, to understand all this, we require a direct teacher who comes in the Parampara, and that is our own personal Guru. Therefore, I offer namaskarams to the entire Guru Parampara from Dakshinamurti to Vedavyasa to Adi Shankaracharya and to my personal Guru for gaining the liberating knowledge. Moving on, in the yogic tradition, Guru Purnima is celebrated as the day when Shiva himself became the Adi Guru, that's the first Guru, and passed on his teachings to the Saptarishis. It is also known as Vyasa Purnima, as it marks the birthday of Vedavyasa. Dear seekers, let us celebrate this day dedicated to the Guru Parampara by spending the next 1 hour in reminiscing with gratitude the role of Guru in our spiritual sadhana. To begin with, we have Sri Vikram singing for us the beautiful bhajan from the Art of Living that will rightly put us on intense Guru Bhakti mode. This bhajan reminds me of the verse from Bhagavata, Canto 10 and Chapter 80, where Lord Krishna's Guru Sandipani says, quote, "The father from whom one gets the body is the first Guru in this world. Next comes the teacher who invests one with the sacred thread and teaching him his obligatory duties. He is worthy of adoration like myself. Lastly comes the teacher who imparts the knowledge of self to men of all classes and helps one in realization of God. He is identical with me," unquote. Over to you, Vikram sir.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही भक्ति हो, तुम ही शक्ति हो, तुम ही मुक्ति हो मेरे सांब शिवा। तुम ही मुक्ति हो मेरे सांब शिवा। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही प्रेरणा तुम ही साधना, तुम ही प्रेरणा तुम ही साधना, तुम ही आराधना मेरे भोले शिवा। तुम ही आराधना मेरे भोले शिवा। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तुम ही प्रेम परम गोपी जीवन, तुम ही प्रेम परम गोपी जीवन, तुम ही प्रेम परम गोपी जीवन, तुम ही श्री कृष्णा मेरे सावरिया। तुम ही श्री कृष्णा मेरे सावरिया। प्रियतम तुम ही प्राणनाथ, तुम ही प्रियतम तुम ही प्राणनाथ, तुम ही तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, गुरु मात्र पिता गुरु बंधु सखा, तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि प्रणाम। तेरे चरणों में स्वामी मेरे कोटि कोटि प्रणाम।
Thank you, sir, for taking us to a different level of Guru Bhakti and setting the tone for subtler absorption. After Koti Koti pranams, prostrations to the Guru, let us surrender and say Sharanam. Srimati Aruna will now sing Totakashtaka for us. Totakashtakam is a divine hymn composed by Totakacharya to praise the greatness of his Guru, Adi Shankaracharya. Apart from explaining the greatness of his Guru, Shankara's compassion, his knowledge on Advaita Vedanta, and his importance are brought out in this hymn. It seeks the blessings and protection of Guru to grant jnana for liberation from the cycle of samsara. Bhagavata says, among the followers of the Varnashrama order in this world, they alone who carry out the preceptor's teaching and thereby cross the ocean of mundane existence without much ado, know the true worldly and otherworldly interests. Over to you, Aruna madam.
Hari Om. विदिताखिल शास्त्र सुधा जलधे महितोपनिषद कथितार्थ निधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणं भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणं करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागर दुःखविदून हृदं रचयाखिल दर्शन तत्त्वमिदं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवता जनता सुहृता भविता निज बोध विचारण चारुमते कलयेश्वर जीव विवेक विदं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भव एव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोह महाजलधिं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं सुकृते धिकृते बहुधा भवतो भविता समदर्शन लालसता अतिदीनमिमं परिपालय मां भव शङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं जगतीमवितुं कलिता कृतयो विचरन्ति महामहसश्चलतः अहिमांशुरिवात्र विभासि गुरो भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं गुरुपुङ्गव पुङ्गव केतनते समतामयतां नहि कोऽपि सुधिः शरणागत वत्सल तत्त्वनिधे भव शङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं विदिता न मया विशदैककला न च किञ्चन काञ्चनमस्ति गुरो धृतमेव विधेहि कृपां सहजां भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणं भवशङ्कर देशिक मे शरणम्.
Thank you so much, Madam, for you have infused in us a devotional fervor through your soulful and melodious singing. In Bhagavata, 10th canto, 80th chapter, we come across this dialogue of Guru Sandipani to Lord Krishna, his disciple. The Guru says, I am the universal self. I reside in every heart as the witness. I am not so pleased with the performance of daily obligatory sacrifices by the householder, nor with the investiture with the sacred thread and study of the scriptures, which is the duty of a celibate, nor with the penance of the ascetic, nor with the quietness of a recluse, as I am with the services rendered by a disciple to the preceptor. This is what Sri Purandara Dasaru said in his composition, Guruvina Gulama Naguvatanaka, to be sung by our own nightingale, Srimati Indumati. Over to you, Indu Akka.
ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ಪರಿ ಪರಿ ಅನೇಕ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳೋದಿ, ಪರಿ ಪರಿ ಅನೇಕ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳೋದಿ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಾಯಿತು ಭಕುತಿ ಭಕುತಿ. ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ. ಆರು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ನೋಡಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಆರು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳ ಓದಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ನೂರಾರು ಪುರಾಣ ಮುಗಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಸಾರ ಶೌರ್ಯ ಕಥೆ ಕೇಳಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಧೀರನಾಗೀತ ತಿರುಗಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಧೀರನಾಗೀತ ತಿರುಗಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಕೊರಳುಳು ಮಾಲೆಯ ಧರಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಕೊರಳುಳು ಮಾಲೆಯ ಧರಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಬೆರಳುಳು ಜಪಮಣಿ ಎಣಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಬೆರಳುಳು ಜಪಮಣಿ ಎಣಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಮರುಳನ ತೆರದಿ ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಬೂದಿಯ ಮರುಳನ ತೆರದಿ ಶರೀರಕ್ಕೆ ಬೂದಿಯ ಒರೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ತಾ ತಿರುಗಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ನಾರಿಯ ಭೋಗವ ನಳಿದರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಶರೀರದ ಸುಖವನು ಬಿಡಿಸಿದರಿಲ್ಲ ನಾರದ ವಂಶದ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಸೇರಿದವನ ಸಂಗ ಮಾಡುವ ತನಕ ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ಪರಿ ಪರಿ ಅನೇಕ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳೋದಿ ಪರಿ ಪರಿ ಅನೇಕ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳೋದಿ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವಾಯಿತು ಭಕುತಿ ಭಕುತಿ ಗುರುವಿನ ಗುಲಾಮನಾಗುವ ತನಕ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ದೊರೆಯದಣ್ಣ ಮುಕ್ತಿ.
Thank you so much, Indu Akka, for a soulful and melodious rendering of one of the masterpieces very apt for today's occasion. Ramana Maharshi says, liberation is not anywhere outside you. It is only within. If a person is anxious for deliverance, the Guru within pulls in and the Guru without pushes into the self. This is the grace of the Guru. That grace, in the form of Dr. Thimappa Hegde, sir, has been relentlessly striving to lift us up from our ingrained slumber and ignorance, holding up the mirror in the light of Swamiji's teachings, leading us by example. We are waiting with bated breath to listen to our teacher on this auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima. Let's be all ears to absorb every word he says, for they are existential and experiential truth. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Indumati. Thanks to Venkatesh Prasad and all those who, in short notice, have created this most wonderful tribute to our Gurus. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. When we don't have words to express our gratefulness, we borrow these beautiful words from Adi Shankara's Veka Chudamani, has already introduced, to express our gratefulness to 4 individuals at the time of Guru Purnima, beginning with Sri Dakshina Murti, Vyasacharya, Shankaracharya, and our personal Guru, who has Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta, who has given us Gocharam Tamagocharam, which by themselves are not accessible, but they have made it accessible. To such a Guru, how can I express my gratefulness? There is a nice story from the Song of the Bird. The significance of the story, I've shared the story many times. The significance of the story is just this. A traditional Guru, and we are so blessed to have these traditional Gurus, are so keen to give us whatever they have shared. They hide nothing. They give us everything. But then because of their sadhana and because of who they are, you always see them there, and you see a big gap between the Guru and ourselves. And sometimes there was a student who had a feeling that the Guru has not revealed everything. And then he approaches his Guru and says, there is something still that you have not shared. But the Guru confesses, I have shared with you everything that I possibly know. He said, come, let's go for a walk. Both of them were in silence. The Guru was walking ahead, the student was walking behind. And as they were walking on a very quiet path, they could hear a bird sing. So the teacher looked back at the student and said, did you hear that bird sing? And the student said, yes. Have I hidden anything from you? He said, no. Sometimes the transmission can go not by just words, but by the presence of the Guru, and it's a wordless communication that the Guru communicates. Our Gurus over the years, directly and indirectly, through their talks, even though they have not been directly physically with us, but through their recorded talks, have been able to give us Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam. That Vedic wisdom which should have been acquired through, in ashrams which are in the Himalayas, like Swami Chinmayananda had to do to get the wisdom, has been given to us free of cost, sitting at our own homes, continuing to do whatever we do with our families. And these acharyas have been able to give us that wisdom. How can we express our thankfulness? So on this day of Guru Purnima, let us reflect on some of the main teachings that we have got, so that we remember them again and again and see how we can put it back into our daily lives. Although I've said these many times, our Gurus remind us that we have 3 debts to fulfill. One is the debt to our parents. Let me be a worthy child of my parents who brings honor, glory to my parents. The greatest tribute I can do to my parents is that others are able to feel how blessed my parents are that they have a son or a daughter like us. Second is we have received so much from the community. Swami Dayananda said, can you shift from being a consumer to being a contributor? Each day that we have got this gift of life, let us see in what way we can make the world around us a little better place by our contribution. And the third and the most difficult debt, and that is why we are here, and that is what is our commitment on every Guru Purnima. I am here to attain to Parama Purushartha in this life, because I do not know if I will get these 3 blessings. Human birth, Manushutvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha. All these 3 things have been given to me. I have got the grace of teachers of the highest quality ever. And when you have access to such gurus in this stage of our life, if we do not...
To go at this race, it can hang out for...
If we do not make use of this opportunity at this time of our life, then it may be difficult. So let us make this commitment in our life. Part of our sadhanas is karma yoga. From the time we wake up till the time we sleep, remember these two things. Whatever activity I do, either for myself or for anybody else, it is Ishvara Arpana Bhava. And the most difficult part of Karma Yoga is to be able to accept whatever I get as prasada, no complaints. Such a person is in a zero complaint mode, grateful for everything. We are very conscious about our time, and our teachers say there may be some activities which may not have any immediate benefit, but it will give us jnana yogyata, and that is our Pancha Mahayagna. Spend enough time in the prayer room. Praying to God is not a waste of time. It can transform the whole universe simply by our prayers. Of course, we have already emphasized on Pitra Yagna through our work for Pitra riNa and also for the care of the elderly. As students of Vedanta, it is our commitment for Brahma Yagna. What is Brahma Yagna? One is what we are doing. Swadhyaya Pravachaneccha. Study, teach, study and teach. In addition, it is also our commitment to support all those institutions which are working to preserve and propagate Brahma Vidya. This great treasure has come to us because of the striving of certain people through all difficult times who have preserved the Vedas, who have brought it in the original form even today. And therefore, those institutions and those acharyas we need to be supporting. And that is one of the roles that we need to do at the time of Guru Purnima, to be able to offer material support to our gurus. The other two is part of our daily life, that Naraseva is Narayana Seva, and our commitment to plants and animals around us. This is Pancha Mahayagna. Coming to the third riNa. And I am Swami Paramarthananda chants this many times. That means once you have got some amount of spiritual knowledge, let that be our greatest commitment. I'm here to learn, I'm here to teach. Listen to this. Tad chintanam. All the time reflect on the words of the teachers. Tad katanam. Whenever you have a chance to speak to somebody, speak this only. Anyon tad prabodhanam. Take an opportunity to enlighten other persons around you. Eka deka paraptvamcha. Other than this, other than, of course, we all have roles to play, but once our main role is over, eka deka paramtvamcha brahmabhyas vidur buddha. Wise people say, this is brahmabhyas, this is nididhyasanam. This helps us to work for parama purushartha, or the third riNa. This verse is from Manisha Panchakam. Sashvan nashvaram eva vishvamakilam nischitya vacha guru nityam brahma nirantaram vimrushata nirvaja shantatmana. I will focus only on the first half of this verse. The central teaching of all Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta is this. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This whole world, including my body, my family, my possessions, my profession, everything that we value normally, difficult, but this is true. Sashvan nashvarameva vishvam akilam. All of them have come with an expiry date. And it is possible that in front of our own eyes, they may just crumble. Therefore, make use of them when they are there with you. All of these 5 things, my body, my mind, my profession, my possessions, my family, all important things. But then remember, they come with the final date. And therefore, remember to relish them when they are there. But remember also that they will go away. Sashvan nashvarameva vishvamakilam nischitya vacha guru. If that is so, then what do? Remember the words of the Guru. What does the Guru say? Nityam brahma nirantaram vimrushata nirvaja shantatmana. You heard those beautiful Guru mantras. When you listen to them, what happens? Your mind goes into Shantatmana. In that Shantatmana, let us reflect on the words of the Guru. And what is the words of the Guru is this much only. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivaswarupaha, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham. This should be our commitment. I am Nityaha. I am there for all time. The death of my body is not my death. Shuddhaha. I am something that cannot be contaminated. Just like space cannot be contaminated, the Atma is Shuddhaha. It cannot be contaminated. I am of the nature of consciousness or Buddhaha. My essential nature is Muktaha. I am free. More importantly, I am of the nature of auspiciousness. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivaswarupaha. Now, when my teachers say this is my true nature, I should have Shraddha in my teachers to say, yes, Guruji, I fully understand, I accept it. It was Sri Nityananda Maharaj who had one opportunity only in his life to listen to his teacher. Possibly the teacher did not survive after that one lecture. In that one teaching, he said, Nityaha, Shuddhaha, Buddhaha, Muktaha, you are that. And his reasoning was, why will my teacher ever say something which is not true? His Shraddha and his understanding was so powerful that one Guru, one Shravanam made all the difference. Now our teachers are repeating this all the time. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram Vimrushata. And these are the Gururo Vacha. Let us reflect on them all the time and see how it works in our lives as the 4 L's. How I can live fully, how my life can be a process of learning, how my life can be full of receiving love and giving love, and to see what is my contribution. Very quickly, let me share about a student of Vedanta should live in awareness. Be very sensitive to all that you see, all that you hear, all that you feel, smell, taste, touch. That means you are living in your senses. This is possible if I am in real time. My mind is not hijacked by any disturbing thought. If there is any disturbing thought, I will miss this moment to be with you. 100% where you are in real time, not in psychological time. Thought attack happens the more you have possessions, obligations, relations, and transactions. And as you reach the age of Vanaprastha around 50, consciously work on reducing our possessions. Don't be possessed by our possessions, obligations, relations, and transactions. If you have that ability to be able to relate and not get affected, it is okay. But the more we have transactions, the more relations, the more intensely we relate to people, our time gets off from living in real time. We live in psychological time. In Param Vedanta, we have a nice tradition of, even though our understanding may not be anywhere like that of the Acharyas, whatever we have learned, we make an attempt to teach to somebody. And this is brought out in the Taittiriya Upanishad repeatedly in so many verses as Swadhyaya Pravachanecha, Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. Make yourself study and teach others. Tad Chintanam Anyontad Prabodhanam. The next is love. The more you identify yourself as Atma and you're able to see Atma in everybody, remember this beautiful verse of the Gita, Atma Pammena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Yorjuna Sukham Va Yadiva Dukkham Sa Yogi Paramo Mata. To be able to see that everyone is not other than you. And this is what is called love as identification. Finally, what is our legacy? What is our contribution? Now that we have got Brahma Vidya, what do we do with this knowledge? This knowledge is share it with as many people as possible. Let this be the passion of our life. that everybody that we come across, our own family, should value our life so much that we have to live our life fully to be able to attain to Parama Purushartha in this life. When the Mughal Emperor Akbar built this Bulund Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri, and this was a mammoth structure. Right on top, he wanted a nice inscription. So he asked the Sufi saints, and they gave him a verse which is there, which is not in the Bible, but it is from Jesus. And that inscription says, this human life, this world is like a bridge to pass on from Jivatma to Paramatma, to discover your true nature. Don't build your house on it. We are not here to create any projects. This is a transition phase. We are not here forever. We are here to evolve from our understanding as a limited Jivatma to discover our Jiva Paramatma Aikyam. Sant Kabir had said, I went to Kaaba, I went to Kailash, I could not find God. And in my frustration, I said, let me pretend to be like God. And what did he pretend? To be silent, to be more and more aware, to have love as identification, and to make your life celebrative. And if you remember these four things, you don't have to look for God. In fact, God will start looking for you. I'll finally conclude with a few capsules that our teachers have given. Let us remember this all the time, that there is two formats. One is called the triangular format. In the triangular format, which is the relative world of Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, there is no complete solution to any problem. But on the other hand, we have studied what is called the binary format. In the binary format is Atma, Anatma, and Anatma is Mithya. And if you log on to the binary format in the absolute, remember, no problem. In this world, there is no need to prove anything to anybody. All our struggle is to prove something to somebody. Swamiji have said, miseries come and go, but to be miserable is a choice. Remember, to be miserable is a choice. As Atma, what do? I illuminate. As far as possible, do not get affected. When there is ahankara and mamakara, we get affected. That means we identify with the triangular format. And finally, this is something that we need to remember. This is something we need to relish. I am of the nature of eternal and all-pervading consciousness. I'm the only source of permanent peace, security, and happiness. By my presence, I give life to this material body, and through this material body, I experience this material universe. I can never be affected by any event that happens to the material world, this material body-mind complex. See that understanding? By forgetting my real nature, I convert life into a burden. By remembering my life, by remembering my real nature, I convert my life into a blessing. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namah.
I'm short of words to express my gratitude for this insightful sharing. Let me just recall what Ramana Maharshi said. God, on being worshipped, bestows steadiness in devotion, which leads to surrender. On the devotee surrendering, God shows his mercy by manifesting as the Guru. The Guru, otherwise God, guides the devotee, saying that God is in you and he is the self. This leads to introversion of the mind and finally to realization. Our journey of introversion has been strengthened, sir, listening to you. Again, I quote the statement of Sandipani to Lord Krishna in Bhagavata. Quote, one's own self is dear to all more than anything else. A good disciple should offer with sincere heart his all, including his very self, to the Guru. That is precisely what he should do in order to repay the debt of the Guru, unquote. Ramana Maharshi, in response to a question by a devotee, has said, Ishtadevata and Guru are very powerful aids on the spiritual path, no doubt. But for an aid to be effective, your effort is also absolutely necessary. It is you who should see the sun? Can the spectacles and the sun see for you? You yourself have to see your true nature. In Guru Ashtakam, Sri Shankaracharya points out that neither beauty, nor wealth, nor fame, neither scriptural learning, nor virtuous actions, nor even yogi statements are of any consequence if one's mind is not steeped in devotion to the Guru. We are indeed privileged to have Dr. Victor Carpenter rendering Guru Ashtakam for us all the way from the US. Over to you, sir.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Punananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Atva Guru Ashtakam. Shariram Surupam Tathava Kalatram Yashascharu Chitram Dhanam Merutulyam Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Galatram Dhanam Putra Pautradi Sarvam Ruham Bandava Sarva Etadhi Jatam Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Shadangadi Vedo Mukhe Shastra Vidya Kavitvadi Gadyam Sapadyam Karoti Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Vedesheshu Manyasvaresheshu Danya Sadachara Vrutteshu Matto Nachanya Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Kshama Mandale Bhupa Bhupala Brindayi Sarasevitam Yasya Padaravindam Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Yashome Gatam Dikshu Dhanaf Pratapa Jagadvastu Sarvam Hareyat Prasadat Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Manaschena Lagnam Gururangri Padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Na bhoge na yoge na vavajirajao na kanda mukhe naiva itteshu chittam manaschena lagnam gururangri padme manaschena lagnam gururangri padme Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Tata Kim Aranyena vasvasya gehena karye Nadehe mano vartate me varnarye manasche nalagnam urorang kripanme manasche nalagnam urorang kripanme tata kim tata kim tata kim tata kim urorashtakam patit punyate yatir bhupatir brahmachari chage labhedvan chitartam param brahma sanyam labhedvan chitartam param brahma sanyam uroruptavake manoyasya lagnam uroruptavake manoyasya lagnam manoyasya lagnam manoyasya lagnam.
Beautiful, sir. You enthralled us with your flawless singing, soaked in pure devotion. Thank you so much. So long as you think you are an individual, you believe in God. On worshipping God, God appears to you as Guru. On serving God, he manifests as the self. God, Guru, and self are only different forms of the same. This triad of self, Guru, and God is brought forth in this beautiful composition dedicated to Sringeri Pita's Guru Sri Chandrasekhara Bharati, Gnanavaneedanage, which will be sung by Sri Mysore Madhusudhan. Over to you, sir.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Gnanavaneedanage Guruve Anata Jana Samrakshaka Prabhuve Gnanavaneedanage Guruve Guruve Nanu nannadu yambo vyamohake siluki Nanu nannadu yambo vyamohake siluki Deenanadeno yannakayodayanide Deenanadeno kayodayanide Gnanavaneedanage Guruve Guruve Paramadharma Samrajya Supalana Paramahamsanada Simha Sanchatane Paramadharma Samrajya Supalana Paramahamsanada Simha Sanchatade Varashungagiri Puranivasane Varashungagiri Puranivasane Nirupama Guna Shila Satya Swarupane Gnanavaneedanage Guruve Guruve Sundaramukhi Shri Sharadambeya Nandati Pujipa Nirmala Rupade Sundaramukhi Shri Sharadambeya Nandati Pujipa Nirmala Rupade ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳಿ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳಿ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಪ್ರಣವ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೆ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರುವೇ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ ಭಾರತಿ ಗುರುವೇ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ನೀಡೆನಗೆ ಗುರುವೇ ಆನತ ಜನ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಕ ಪ್ರಭುವೇ ಜ್ಞಾನವ ನೀಡೆನಗೆ ಗುರುವೇ ಗುರುವೇ.
Thank you, sir, for your melodious rendering with intense bhakti bhava. Learning is a continuous process from cradle to grave. There's so much to learn from things and beings around us. This thought reminds me of Lord Dattatreya, the Avaduta. Once while Dattatreya was roaming the forest happily, he met King Yadu, who on seeing Dattatreya so happy, asked him the secret of his happiness and the name of his Guru. Dattatreya said that the Atman alone was his Guru, and yet he had learned wisdom from 24 individuals and entities who were therefore his Gurus. It is said, once a seeker surrenders, Guru appears. We are all yearning for Guru's grace, right? Let us look at what Ramana Maharshi has said about grace. The grace of the Guru, God, is like an ocean. If one comes up with a cup, he gets only a cup full. It's no use complaining of the niggardliness of the ocean. The bigger the vessel, the more one is capable to carry. It's entirely up to oneself. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has also said, more we bend, more does the grace of the Guru gets filled up. Bending here means letting go of the ego. More we let go of our ego, we become better receptacles of Guru's grace. May we be grateful for this access to Guru's teachings, which is nothing but grace. We close today's Guru Purnima special session with a Mangala Stuti for our various Gurus. Our own Sri Venkatesh Prasad is singing it for us. Over to you, Anna.
Sri Guru Namaha. Mangalam Guru Sri Chandramauleshwarage Shakti Ganapati Sharadambeke Shankracharya Kala Bhairavage Namakali Durgige Dhira Vira Shura Hanuma Maruti Shanige Mallikarjunage Namacheluva Janabhanige Amba Bhavanige Kambada Ganapati Chandi Chamundige Vidyaranyarige Nama Vidyavahinige Vagishwari Shri Vajrada Ganapati Anjaneyanige Tungabhadrage Nama Tungavahinige Shringeriyalli ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವಂಥ ಶಾರದಾಂಬಾಗೆ ನಿತ್ಯಾನಂದರಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರರಿಗೆ ಗೊಂದಾವರೆಯೊಳು ನೆಲೆಸಿರುವಂಥ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಮಂಗಳಂ ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀ ಚಂದ್ರಮೌಳೇಶ್ವರಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಗಣಪತಿ ಶಾರದಾಂಬೆಗೆ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯರಿಗೆ.
Thank you so much, Anna. What a sublime culmination of our offering to our gurus. Thank you so much. We come to the end of today's special session on Guru Purnima. As is our practice to offer Guru Dakshina to our gurus twice a year, once during Gita Jayanti and then during Guru Purnima. Those desirous of making an offering may please do so, and the details of the mode of payment are on the display in the slide here. The information is available on Telegram and WhatsApp group also. And this is purely voluntary basis and there's no compulsion about it. If you feel like making an offering to the gurus, you may please do so. Thank you so much for your support. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.